What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play a little game about who I think our projected starting five is going to be for the Chicago Bulls in the 2025 season, 2025-2026. The reason why I'm going to do this is because obviously the Bulls made some deals. They traded Lonzo Ball and brought in Isaac Okoro. And we're in the point where I'm recording this. No other trade has happened outside of that Lonzo Ball trade. And we still haven't done much in free agency hasn't even been opened yet. So we're kind of in that discussion phase of who are we going to sign, who are we going to trade and all that. I'm going to give a prediction. Now, maybe by the time this video comes out, the Bulls do more things. This video becomes invalid. We move on. Maybe I make the video again down the line. But if the Bulls still are relatively quiet in this situation, this is what I think our starting five could be heading into next season. So, with that being said, let us begin. Our first position should be the point guard position. Sorry, I'm still a little bit sick. But our first position is the point guard position. I think it's well and truly stated and clear as day the Chicago Bulls are bringing back Josh Giddey. Restricted free agency. I think they're going to pay him the money that he wants, and I think this is going to be done very quickly, very swiftly. Josh Giddey will be here next season. He'll be our starting point guard for the future, and I don't think there's much conversation there. Yes, we have Trey Jones and we have Ayo Dosunmu, two really good guards, but the way that Josh Giddey ended the season, you would have to assume if he can do that consistently, he's our guard of the future and someone that we could truly see elevate this Bulls team for many years to come. That's all big ifs, buts, and maybes, but I feel like that's going to happen. I feel like he's going to be around, and at least for the beginning of the season, I see him being our starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls. Not to mention the player alongside of him, the starting shooting guard, is an obvious choice as well. It is going to be Coby White, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he had a terrific end to the season as well. Won Player of the Month in the month of March. I think it was March. Yeah, pretty sure it was. Maybe it was May. I don't know. Who cares? But he won it in one of those months, man. This is a long time ago, bro. I don't have the memory capacity for that long. Anyway, he won a Player of the Month awards. He was doing great things. It wasn't in May. We weren't in the playoffs. March, there, done, boom, sorted. But he won some. He won that. He did really, really good things. Elevated his scoring to another level. It wasn't just 3-point shooting. It was the paint. It was his slashing ability, his shot creation from the mid-range, his ability to get to the line. All that raised up to the next level. And again, we're in that trial stage with this Bulls team. I think the Bulls are going to want to see what he could do for his contract year in the hopes that maybe this team is good enough to the point where they can keep Josh Giddey and Coby White together on the same team. We don't know if that's going to be the future plan, but I do see that being next season's plan, to say the least. And I do see him being our starting shooting guard for the Chicago Bulls. But now we're moving into unknown territory here. The small forward position, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there's a lot we could go. There's a lot we can do. So let's talk about all the options at least. We obviously traded for Isaac Okoro, a defensive presence. Someone that's probably going to be one of our better defenders as soon as he steps foot on the court. Someone that can knock down the three at a 37% clip with about 2 to 3 attempts per game. Not known for his offense. Will not be an offensive threat for the Bulls, probably. We don't know for sure. But based on what he did for the Cavs, you'll think he's not going to be an amazing offensive threat. But then you got Kevin Huerter. Someone that a lot of Bulls fans may have forgotten is even on the team at this point with all the other moves we were doing in the forward position. I mean, Kevin Huerter is an off-the-ball threat. Someone that will make Josh Giddey's life a little bit easier at the point guard spot because he can shoot the three at a very good level, and he's shown he has the ability to create his own shot from time to time. Someone that can make your life easier from the three-point line. Someone that can, again, make the Bulls' offense have different layers to it. I mean, that strikes me as a very interesting prospect as the starting small forward position. Not a defensive threat that we may need. He gives his all defensively, but he's not gifted defensively, and we all know that. And he will probably be the worst option on the defensive end. But then you've got Patrick Williams. I mean, I can't rule out Patrick Williams starting for the Chicago Bulls team. The reason why is the guy's on $18 million per season. He's not a lot of money to be off the bench, so maybe they just say, screw it, bite the bullet, he's starting. And he's a good two-way player. He can knock down the three. We know that. It's been 5 years. He's knocked it down relatively well. He could be a good defender for us. He's just very passive. And at the end of the day, that's what people have a big go at him about. Maybe as the starting small forward, being passive is enough because we've got other threats in the team. Maybe he is going to be the starter in the small forward position. Noah Asenge. I don't see him starting straight away, but he could prove to be good enough to be a starter for this Bulls team, given the opportunities in the G League and off our bench. He could be our starting small forward by the end of the season. That's his natural position. He's played there all his career. So you have to keep your eyes on that too. So many things. Maybe we do a trade for Jonathan Kuminga. We chuck him in the small forward position. I don't know. My answer is, it's going to depend on the team that we play. For example, if we're going to be playing a team that is massively an offensive threat, let's just say we face the Houston Rockets, who looks like they're going to be an offensive juggernaut next season, well, then, of course, you're going to have to play a defensive-minded guy like Isaac Okoro or a Patrick Williams in the lineup. But if you're facing a defensive-minded team, let's just say that team would be... who's a good defensive team? The OKC Thunder. They're good everywhere, but let's just say you're thinking about defense and you need an offensive threat to put pressure on your defense, on their defense. Kevin Huerter comes in and brings a different dynamic there. So I think it will depend, but I do feel like it's going to be Kevin Huerter. I think Kevin Huerter is going to be our starting small forward. Patrick Williams off the bench. We've seen it last season. We're probably going to see it again. It's just a ridiculous amount of money for a bench player. And, I think Isaac Okoro could come in every now and then, but I feel like it's going to be Kevin Huerter's spot at the beginning, and things will change throughout the season. Starting power forward will be easy. It's going to be the second-year player then, ladies and gentlemen, Matas Buzelis. Have you seen this guy put on the muscle he has put on? This guy looks like he's a juggernaut player now. This guy looks like he's the strongest player in the entire NBA, bro. It's insane what he looks like at the moment. And all the credit to him is putting in that work, and that's exactly what we needed him to do in his second season, because we know the sophomore season can be the season where players drop off. And that's the last thing I want to see with Matas Buzelis. I want him to take the step, not regress. Sometimes it happens. It doesn't mean that he's going to turn out to be a bust or anything, but if you see him have a strong second season, I think all things are off limits with Matas Buzelis. So I'm excited for him to be the starting power forward for this team. Offensively, he's got the ball handling ability. He has a very good offensive repertoire. He could get in his bag. He could create his own shot. Still needs to improve his three-point shooting, but that could come a long way as well. And now the physicality side of things to his game, with a good defender next to him, it could be a very interesting dilemma for the Chicago Bulls. And again, depending on who plays well with next to him, that could be the starting small forward, because there's, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, he's the starting power forward. And then the center position, ladies and gentlemen. Am I going to say it's Nikola Vucevic? Am I going to say Vucevic stays with the Chicago Bulls? Is that going to be what we do now, ladies and gentlemen? Am I going to go against everything I've said in the past? Look, there is a very good chance Vucevic stays. I think the Bulls are going to do it. I think the Bulls are going to trade Nikola Vucevic. I think there's too much rumors around for it not to happen. And with that being said, I think our starting center is going to be Zach Collins. I think it's going to be Zach Collins. Now, Zach Collins, when he did start for the Bulls last season, when Vucevic got injured, he did good things. He was a good three-point shooter, good in the post, good defensively. Everybody loved him. Does that mean he's going to be the exact same level of player with the Bulls in this starting lineup next season? Of course not. Zach Collins, for most of his career, has been a bench guy or has been a starter that doesn't really get a lot of the ball. That's what he's been throughout the course of his career. But all things considered, it is very valuable asset to have off the bench. And if we do trade Vucevic, I don't see us getting a starting center caliber player in return. So I think Zach Collins will be the one that steps up next, while you have Jalen Smith on the bench, probably getting a little bit more minutes than what you saw towards the end of the season. Maybe that's where we go as a young team. But like I said in the past, there is a good chance Vucevic stays, and that is because the Bulls are trying to win now. As naive as that may be, that's what they're trying to do. So Vucevic plays a factor in that. He helps us win now. So maybe we do keep Nikola Vucevic, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's going to be Zach Collins. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I mean, again, this is before free agency kicks on, so we don't know what's happened. We don't know if the Bulls did something miraculous. Maybe the Bulls brought in a superstar. Maybe the Bulls brought in a couple of role players. Maybe the Bulls, got ridiculous amount of draft capital. We don't know what's going to happen in the free agency period, in the trade market. But as of now, all we've done is trade Alonzo Ball. So, with that being said, if that's all we've done, even until when this video is uploaded, that's my starting five. Subject to change. Do you agree? Do you disagree? See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.